We are back. Happy New Year, January 3rd, 2016. Already 3 days in. 8:34. Told y'all I would work on starting a little bit earlier. So this is the earliest I think I've started since starting the series back in November. 8:35 now, Sunday. So let's go. Happy New Year. This past week, last week of 2015, has officially been the most unproductively productive week for me. And what I mean by that is I was forced to slow down. When you keep running on the treadmill, it's going to catch up to you, and you're going to be forced to relax and rest eventually. So most of 2015 for me, especially the last 3-4 months, I've just been constantly running, working 7 days a week, and it took its toll this past Tuesday. I got under the weather, I got a cold, I just couldn't go anymore, so I was forced to just sit down, relax, and rest up, prepare, reflect for what it is I want for this year. So, what we're going to discuss this week is disappointment, hopefulness, and proximity. Alright? So, let's start with disappointment. On yesterday, actually, Saturday, I did a post on my website, aloversambition.com. And that post, I did a few posts actually. So one of the posts I did was Oprah's interview with Brene Brown, or rather Brene Brown's interview with Oprah. And it was a Living Brave interview, and they discussed a lot of different things, including courage and bravery and truth seeking, our truth tellers within our life, but most importantly, disappointment. When we think of disappointment, why we're disappointed, why we disappoint others, what comes with that is, as Oprah mentioned, our agenda. So we all have agendas. Our agenda for ourselves to do something, our intention for ourselves to do something, and then how that it relates to someone else's intention for us, or someone else's agenda for us. And Oprah discussed the clarity of intention and how it helps us to be more fearless and live a more fearless life. And she also made time to discuss what it takes to lead a brave life while disappointing others. Specifically, she mentioned that it's impossible. We cannot live a brave life without disappointing other people. Alright? However, the people that we do disappoint, the reason why they're disappointed is because they have their own agenda. So the people who are rooting for our rise and the people who we matter to, they won't be disappointed because they'll understand. They'll understand our intention for ourselves and our agenda, and they'll support that. But the people who don't support what it is that we ultimately want for ourselves, those are the people who are usually disappointed. So with that being said, often when it comes to seeking truth and living our lives bravely, if that's the right word, with bravery, it's going to disappoint other people. But those are the people that we don't necessarily need to be around in the first place. And it's a way of, it's a way of really identifying those who we need to be around from those who we don't need to be around is whether or not they'll be disappointed at certain decisions we make, especially if the decision is in our best interest. So, to live a brave life, we will disappoint other people. Don't be afraid to disappoint other people. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to speak your truth. Don't be afraid to step up. And this all relates to another post that I did back in May of 2015. And that post was entitled, Trust Yourself, Do What Matters. And it ties in to the same concept of following your intuition, trusting yourself, and everything else will align with that trust that you have in yourself. The people you need to be around, the things you need to be around, everything else will align accordingly, in accordance with you following your intuition and you living with intention. So that's another post you can check out if you if you just go to my website and type in Trust Yourself, it should come up. It's a May 2015 blog post. Secondly, let's get into changing the world a little bit. Hopefulness. I did another post, and this is from a video that dropped back in October with Brian Stevenson, who's the founder and executive director of the, let me not make a mistake, let's see, founder and director of the Equal Justice Initiative. And he did a talk at the Zeitgeist, and I believe Google puts together the Zeitgeist talks. So he did a Zeitgeist talk about 4 things that he feels can help to change the world. And one of those 4 things was hopefulness, protecting our hopefulness. And another was proximity, which we will get into next. But hopefulness, one of the things that he said about hopefulness is that injustice prevails where hopelessness persists. Hopelessness is the enemy of justice. We cannot seek justice if we are not hopeful. As long as we continue to think that we cannot do anything as people, as a community, then we will not make any progress. It's very important that we protect our hopefulness. It's very important that we protect our hopefulness as people, as individuals. Increasing our hope is essential to changing our world. So in order to spark change, to create change, we must stay hopeful. We must protect our hopefulness. So that's very, very important. And that's something that I revisited actually this past week when I did the blog post. I did this post on Saturday as well. You can check it out on the website. And it's just really, really profound stuff when we just sit down and think about it. Just the importance of staying hopeful and persisting and staying resilient. That's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us going. Lastly, proximity, which was another one of the 4 things. And just to go over all 4, so number 1 was proximity, number 2 was changing the narrative. These are all things that Brian Stevenson spoke about in his talk, his Zeitgeist talk, which is 26 minutes. You can check out the full video on the website as well. Changing the narrative, number 2. Number 3 we just spoke about, protecting our hopefulness. And then number 4 was doing uncomfortable things. So proximity, and this was like the number 1 thing for me as well. We cannot change problems in the world if we are not proximate to those problems. We can't sit in the boardroom, we can't sit in the office. We can't be comfortable and expect to change problems. In order to change something, we have to be in it. We have to experience it. We can't be, as Brian said, we can't be responsible influencers until we understand the importance of getting proximate to the problems in our world. Proximity, it teaches us a lot of things. Proximity teaches us things that we especially cannot learn from a distance. That's what proximity does. It puts us in the trenches, per se. When we get proximate to problems, we see things and hear nuances and hear details that we cannot see from a distance. Because we're there, we're right there. We're in that experience. And in order to solve problems and create breakthroughs and innovations, we must get very, very close and inside of the problems that we intend to solve. It's just like being a scientist or just like being an engineer. They cannot gain any leadway. They cannot gain traction without being there. You know, they have to be there. A scientist, up front, they're right there, working on their problems, finding solutions. So we have to be the same way. Proximity is essential if we want to create change in this world. Period. We have to be proximate. If we want to change the school system, we have to be in the school system. Education, we have to be there. We can't do it from a distance. Urban environments, we want to change the hood, we have to be in the hood. That's it. We have to be in the hood. You know? Artists in residence. That's why me personally, I like residencies. You know, I like the idea of having artists in residence, educators in residence, businesses in residence. I'm a real advocate of residency programs. And it's something that, you know, I would like to be a part of myself. Just being in the trenches while creating change. Being in the trenches while creating change. It's something that we did in City. When I was in Miami, serving for City in Miami as a corps member, we were a part of the communities. We were there. We were in the neighborhoods. We were in the schools. We were with the students. Like, we were there. We were there, up front, personal. Proximity creates change. Quotes of the week. A lot of quotes. We have a lot of quotes this week from a lot of different sources. Number one, the first quote was something my boy Thomas, shout out to Thomas Johnson, Get Up and Get Fit. He put this in a post on Facebook in regards to reviewing our 2015 and preparing for 2016. He said that we must learn from our failures and become motivated by our accomplishments. So let's learn from our failures and then become motivated by our accomplishments. Acknowledge what we accomplished, celebrate our accomplishments, celebrate our achievements, and just keep moving. Excuse me, I'm still a little under the weather, but I'm getting better. Second quote, with meaning and purpose in life comes meaning and purpose in suffering. This is again from Viktor E. Frankl, A Man's Search for Meaning, which I'm starting to eventually finish the book. I've been going a little slower than usual, but I've been learning a lot as well. So with meaning and purpose in life comes meaning and purpose in suffering. There's meaning and purpose in there's meaning and purpose in experience. Everything that we experience, there's some meaning and purpose in it. There's some value of learning within that experience. So meaning and purpose in life, meaning and purpose in the good, meaning and purpose in suffering, meaning and purpose in grief, meaning and purpose in loss, the bad. There's always meaning and purpose. As long as we seek that meaning and purpose, whether it's through the good or through the bad, we'll be in good standing. Third quote, if you're brave enough, often enough, you will fall. If you're brave enough, often enough, you'll probably also fail. same thing. Brene Brown, she said that in her video interview with Oprah. If you're brave enough, often enough, you will fail. Not maybe, you will fail. So let's be brave. Often, let's fall. Let's not be afraid to fall. Let's stand up. Be courageous. Be brave. Keep going. And embrace our falls and move on with courage, love, and mindfulness. Especially in the new year, 2016. Brene Brown. This again, another one from Man's Search for Meaning. Is it Man's Search for Meaning or A Man's Search for Meaning? Yeah, so Man's Search for Meaning, not A Man's Search for Meaning. He, and this is from Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche, actually. Nietzsche. He who has a why to live for can bear with almost anyhow. Mr. Nietzsche himself. He who has a why to live for can bear with almost anyhow. So when we have the why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? The how, it's whatever, you know? As long as we have that why, we just keep pushing. We keep pushing, you know? We figure out how. So, he who has a why to live for can bear with almost anyhow. Man's Search for Meaning. This is in regards to the Holocaust survivors and those who survived had something in their mind. They had a meaning to keep living. They had a why to keep pushing and just kept going. Fourth quote. Sometimes we may not want to ask ourselves what do we expect from the world, but rather, what does the world expect from us? So, instead of always asking, you know, what we want from the world, what do we expect from the world? I want this, I want to be rich, I want that, I want to be married, I want a beautiful wife, I want children, I want a car, I want. Let's focus on what the world expects from us. What can we give to the world? You know? So, instead of approaching it as what we expect from the world, let's look at it as what does the world expect from us? How can we give to the world at large? What can we give? Next, organization. Organization. This is the last post I did a few hours ago. Robert Greene, he was interviewed by London Real and Brian Rose of London Real and Nick Gabriel of London Real. They spoke about power, seduction, war, 50 Cent, a lot of mastery, a lot of good topics, a variety of topics. It was about maybe an hour or so long. You can check out that video on my website as well. Have the post, have a few notes. And the first quote that I extracted from there, and this is something that Robert Greene said around that 32-minute mark, is organization is a high-level skill. So when we think of organization, being organized, anyone who knows me knows I'm a highly organized person. It helps me to think clearly. And I think I spoke about this in an earlier video as well. Organization helps me to think clearly. And through thinking clearly, I can work more efficiently and be more productive. Who doesn't want to be more productive and live life in a more effective and efficient manner? That's what we should all be striving for. So Robert Greene said, organization is a high-level skill. Organizing your thoughts and surroundings is strategy at its highest level. And it also requires creativity. So think about it. It's literally strategy. I remember, like, if I'm looking at a bookshelf that just looks a mess, and I have to organize a bunch of books, it is strategy. Like, I'm looking at the sizes of the books, maybe the colors, um, you know, the titles, whether I want to do it chronologically, alphabetically. So this is all something that requires creativity as well as strategy. Organization requires creativity and strategy at a very high level. I thought that quote to be very interesting. Robert Greene again, young people, this is, oh man, this speaks to us, especially millennials, the generation coming next, Generation Z, whatever it is, I'm not really sure. Young people are often too in a hurry to make it. Like, come on. Young people are often too in a hurry to make it. How true is that? Too in a hurry to make it. Like, we're rushing to go where? You know? We're in our 20s. Where are we going? Where are we going? We have a lot of time. We have time to prepare. We have time. Let's use this time now to prepare and study and really zone in on not just career, you know, but purpose and meaning. Purpose and meaning. There are people who may start their careers early, and then they're in their 30s and 40s, and it's like, I've been doing the wrong thing for the last 15, 20 years. We want to try to prevent that. You know, let's not always rush into what it is we think we should be doing. Especially when we have a lot of people in our ear. Oh, you should do this, you should get married, you need to have children. Why? Why do I need to have children right now? I'm 30 years old. Why do I need to have children? I'm not 30 yet, but, you know, figuratively speaking. Why do we need to have children? 30, 31, 32. Why do we need to have children? Huh? Why do we need to settle down? Why? This goes back to the why. Why do we need to get married? Give me a good reason to get married. Why? Yeah, exactly. Let's slow down. Not be in such a hurry. Live life at a mindful pace. Live life gracefully. Live life with purpose and intention. This is another thing I want to touch on as well. Could versus should. Let's not worry about all the things we could be doing and focus on what we should be doing. It's one of my goals for this year. Focus less on what I could be doing. I could be doing a lot of things, and focus more on what I should be doing. What should I really be doing? You know, another thing for me this year is to step into my potential, step into my true potential. You know, I feel that I have a lot to offer, and it's time that I really step into my true potential. So that's one of my themes for 2016 as well. Should over could, stepping into my true potential. So yeah, there's no real rush. Let's stop getting caught up in the rat race. Let's get off the treadmills, and let's start really approaching life as a marathon. You know, sometimes it's time to run a little faster. Sometimes we have to slow down, rest and relax. Another thing for this year I intend to do is sleep more. As counterintuitive as it may sound, especially for someone like myself. Yes, I'm saying it. I want to sleep more. I need more rest. Otherwise, things like this happen. You get sick. You get slowed down. And thankfully, it's just a mild cold. I'm not hospitalized or anything like that. So I really want to live smarter, live wiser. And that's one of the reasons why I intend to rest more in 2016, sleep more in 2016, which sounds crazy, but, you know, in a way it could be genius as well. So, lastly, and this was something that Brian Rose said, and Brian Rose is the guy who runs London Rail. He's a broadcaster. He interviews a lot of great people. And this was in response to a story that Robert Greene said in regards to him being in the hotel room. There was a guy upstairs, making a lot of noise. And Robert Greene was tapping on the ceiling, like, hey, be quiet, too loud. Guy came downstairs, wanted to fight. And Robert Greene approached, his response to it was, dude, I'm not trying to fight. Like, I just want to sleep. That's it. I just want to sleep. And he said his approach was very mild-tempered and mellow. And he said the reason for that is because of his meditation. Due to his meditation, his approach to situations are a lot more zen. And I believe in that approach as well. And Brian Rose said that there's no upside in escalating aggression with aggression. So that's the actual quote. There's no upside in escalating aggression with aggression. Anytime I'm in a conflict, which doesn't happen often at all, really, I always try to de-escalate the situation. I don't like raising my voice. I don't like screaming. My goal, my intention is to de-escalate. So that highly resonated with me. There's no upside in escalating aggression with aggression. No upside at all. For anyone. Nobody comes out a winner. So that's the last quote. 7 Days of Wisdom. Episode, 26 minutes in. That's crazy. Episode 9. Already about to hit episode 10 next week. I definitely appreciate those who are tuning in. Feel free to leave any comments on Facebook or on YouTube, anywhere. If you want to hear about anything in particular, or if y'all want me to start speaking about different topics, definitely let me know. I would love to get more people involved and just start creating a dialogue, a conversation. What do y'all want to hear? What should I talk about? So definitely leave some comments, leave some feedback, and I think that's everything. I think we covered everything. I know there were a lot of quotes this week, but there were just a lot to cover, a lot that I wanted to share, and that's it. 9:02, Sunday night. I'm about to wrap it up, get ready for the week. Once again, everyone have an impactful week. Have a blessed week, have a positive week, and let's get out there and change the world. Alright? Take it easy. Peace.